Boom, chickadee chanker, lads and lasses. How's it going, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little Manchester United news roundup video for you of the day's latest. What's going on? So we're going to be covering all the United latest goings on to do with the club. Just give you the latest rundown of what's going on today. Do us a favour at the start of this stream and smash that thumbs up button on it if you're just joining us. Get involved throughout the stream as well for the interactive show. And also, you know, if you are catching up later on, get your thoughts in below in the not live comment section down below and smash that thumbs up button on it later too. Get in there, my son. Thank you everyone who's in here at the start. Let me give a few shout outs here. We've got Gungshi, Aaron, Jonathan, Polo G, Finley Halpin, Randon, Ollie Outs in here as well. And all the rest of you. Thanks very much for getting involved and being a part of the stream. So the biggest news that we're going to get into right now, of course, stems from France's international game last night, where, of course, we had a couple of our lads getting some medals. Mr. Pogba, Mr. Varane, great to see. The thing is, though, what happened is Raphael Varane picked up a thigh injury. He basically pulled up. Nobody was around him, and he's pulled up with some sort of a strain or a pull or something. And, of course, it's going to need to be assessed. So the latest on it, Manchester United are going to, of course, assess the extent of Raphael Varane's thigh injury when he returns to the club this week. He came off in the 43rd minute of France's Nations League final win over Spain in Milan after he tracked back to intercept a cross. So he basically just pulled up. So essentially pulled a muscle in his thigh, which of course is not good because he's our best centre-back, and without him, we are shite at the back. Let's be perfectly honest now. Even if we just had the slab available, like I don't think the slab on his own is, with Lindo or with Bailly or anybody, I don't think that's a good enough partnership. And yet the slab is injured too. So we are literally going to have to be setting up with Bailly and Lindelof, which, you know, it could be gash for us, and we could create a lot of mistakes with those guys at the back there. You just never know. I mean, it doesn't fill me with any sort of confidence having those two at the back. Of course, we've got Twanzebe, who's out on loan at Villa. So, yeah, not an ideal situation, this. Hopefully, it's only going to be for a couple of games. As we've said, it is a pull. It doesn't seem like it's too much of a serious injury at this stage. I mean, we've got some information here that Raphael Varane is likely to have an adductor tear injury, and the return time is typically 1 to 2 weeks if it's a grade 1 injury. So it could be an adductor tear injury. We don't know that 100% as of yet. This is just speculation based on, you know, him pulling up in the game. But that could be the level and the extent of the timeout. Let's hope it's nothing worse than that, because a couple of weeks without Raphael Varane at this stage, I mean, that's one of the biggest losses for our team. We needed him in the summer because that's the position in the side we were weakest, was the centre-back area. And we've got this guy in to solve our problems. He's been pretty much faultless. He has one or two, you know, moments, but most of the time he's been our best centre-back 100% this season. And I would just love to see him back in the side before then. It says 1 to 2 weeks. Let's hope it's no longer, but I'd love it if it was nothing serious and it was just a precaution, obviously him coming off, and it seemed worse than it actually is, and we can get him back in there. Because if not, then we're stuck with a couple of melts at the back in terms of the centre-back position. I'm going to ask you this at the start of this stream, lads and lasses, before we get more into this Varane injury news, about your centre-back pairing. So if Maguire and Varane were not available, who would you select at the back? I mean, it doesn't seem like we've got a whole bunch of choices, but there is Phil No Bones Jones still knocking around the gaff. I mean, what's up with Ted Mengi? You know, Twanzebe, is there any way you could get him back off of loan? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it if they paid a fee or anything for the season. So, I just want to know, what do you think is the best option for United's centre-back pairing right now with the current injury situation? Let me just get into the live chat. We've got a super chat here. It's from Zayn Miyasi. Zayn Miyasi. What is funny about Raphael Varane being out injured for a week or two, Zayn, mate? You know, what are you wishing that bad karma upon Man United for there, Zayn? Anyway, it's to be fair though, even with the centre-backs we've got at the back currently fit, I would still fancy us smashing up mid-table Gashanal, to be fair. Let's get some delusional emojis in the live chat for Zayn Miyasi. Zayn, welcome to the stream today, though, bud. Yes, Finley Halpin, I hear you, bud. He says it's time for our boys to step up and show some bollocks. Come on, United. So let's see what we can do. I've got a feeling that Solskjaer is going to set this team up reasonably defensively over the next few weeks. Unfortunately, with the injury problems that we've got with Varane and Slabby being out, I think what you're going to just see is, Bailly and Lindelof, and he's going to set up with a very defensive-minded midfield. I don't know, Matic and Fred, or McTominay and Fred, the classic book Fred, in front, and it's just going to be, I don't know, I think it's going to be damage limitation next couple of weeks. I don't know, who knows? It might be different to that, but it seems like if you're playing with a couple of defenders who are not as defensively sound, then you have to make certain changes in the style of play and not be so gung ho, maybe not take so many chances, etc. So I think it is going to be a more defensive couple of weeks, which I'm not happy about. Maybe I'm wrong. Bailly until Varane is back, says Jonathan Gallagher. Yeah, Bailly and Lindelof, says Jen Lowell. Polo, Jesus, Bailly and Lindelof. I mean, on paper, it doesn't sound that bad because Bailly, on his day, is a great defender. Problem with him is he's always out bloody injured. But, when he's actually playing in the side, he's always pretty damn solid to me. So I think, I think I've got no real problem with him going in there. Lindelof, I think Lindelof had a really good game last time out when I saw him. He's kind of been improving lately, I think, if you look at what he's done for Sweden, and he's obviously their captain, and he's trying to sort of stake a claim to his place in the team. This is a great opportunity for Victor Lindelof, really, if you want to talk about opportunities for Bailly and Lindelof here, because they might have a run of a couple of weeks at least in the side together, and if they can make a solid claim to trying to get a place in the side, then that's going to do them the world of good. Whereas if they go in there and have an absolute stinker, which is probably the more likely, then it's going to hurt them even more. But let's be honest now, Raphael Varane's not being kept out of the side. The only position that I think there could be any contention for, really, is Maguire's position. I think Maguire is a good defender. I don't think he's a great defender. I think I look at what he's done this season so far, and I think he's had a bit of a bang average season. And, you look at some of the errors he made early doors in the first few games of the season alone, it's not good enough, mate. So, he's a good defender, but he isn't a great defender. I think that's the position that could be up for grabs for anybody to come in. But let's be real, Bailly and Lindelof probably ain't the guys to dislodge Maguire from the team either. But this is an opportunity for them anyway. Primot, how you doing there, buddy? Says probably a Matic and Henderson at the moment, says Primot. What's this about? Matic and Henderson. Centre back, you mean? Oh, I see. TYFX, let's be having you. How you doing there, Ty? Thank you for getting in here. Andrakos with his thoughts quickly. He comments and he says, Bailey's good when he's able to play. So maybe even have to improvise a bit unless Phil Jones is fit. Phil No Bones Jones. Is it over for the man? Will he ever get a chance in the team? I don't think so. I think the time is up for Phil Jones at Manchester United. The ship has sailed, really, even though he's still in the dock. The ship has sailed. Like, we can't get rid of the man, unfortunately, because he's just on big money. Nobody wants him for the money he's on. But he's not going to have to get into this United setup. And I think just psychologically, he's gone, He's a shadow of a player compared to what he used to be. When he was young, confidence maybe, different player. But now with all the injuries, with all the, there's an article, I think it was just today actually, about Phil Jones's social media problems, and people harassing him on social media. He's come off social media a while ago and stuff, and he was just talking about how difficult it is for young footballers these days, because people are tearing them apart on social media, and their friends and family and everyone sees this, and it's just a negative shroud that follows you around, basically, is what we said. So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously not been easy, but let's be honest now, he's finished, isn't he, guys? He's finished at United. He's never going to play. Nobody's talked about Phil Jones getting in there in this conversation. It's all Bailly. It's all Lindelof. If not him, even Ted and Mengi would be a better shout. Maybe even, Twanzebe coming back off loan, etc. So nobody's even thinking about Phil No Bones Jones, to be honest, because he's got no bones. Hey, there's 60 of you legends in here today. Happy Monday to you all, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Get your thoughts and opinions in. And smash that like button. Give it the Kung Fu Cantona treatment. Also, if you could do us a favour and give it a share on social media, that would be much appreciated to help spread the word of the channel. Thank you, guys. Right then, so Raphael Varane, likely an adductor tear injury. Return time typically 1 to 2 weeks if it's a grade 1 injury. So let's just talk about this, for instance. So United will assess, obviously, Raphael Varane's injury this week when he returns to the club. So Upamecano replaced Varane in the game last night. He basically had strapping on his thigh while sat on the France bench. He's expected to undergo a scan when he reports at United's Carrington training complex on Tuesday, lads and lasses. So it just poses a bit of a dilemma because, of course, Maguire is out as well due to an ankle injury. I just want to talk about this for a moment, right, guys? We have some information here. So I think it's from I'm not too sure where it's from actually, oh, okay, I think the Stretford Paddock tweeted about it from VS Housen and Rio Ferdinand, etc. You know, about Maguire being offered a £300,000 a week contract or something, or potentially that's in the works. Eddie Woody Woodward is maybe going to sign up Slabbington Maguire just before he departs. What the fuck? Hang on a second. Let's just talk about this for a second, right? Harry Maguire, 300. He doesn't need a new contract, dude. Are you kidding me? When I heard about that, I was like, what? This can't be true. Like, I'm sorry to say, but Harry Maguire doesn't deserve a new contract at Manchester United, and he certainly doesn't deserve a £300,000 a bloody week contract, man. Are you taking the piece? I mean, I know we paid a lot of money for this guy. I know this guy's already on a huge amount of money, but that's ridiculous. I mean, they're paying him like world-class captain's money there, if that is the actual case. And he's not a world-class captain. I'm sorry to say, he is captain of Manchester United, but he is only in reality. He's not in our hearts, in my opinion. No disrespect. I mean, come on. No disrespect, but he's not the best leader at the club. He's not even in the top 3 best leaders in the club. There's better leaders in this club than Slabby Maguire. There's also much better players in the club. If you look at that back line, I think he's the weak link in the defence. Yet he's captain in the side. I know it's not all about skills or qualities. It's also about character, you know, personality, leadership and stuff. But I'm saying there's better leaders in this side. Bruno Fernandes is a better captain for me. He drags the team forward. He makes things happen. He inspires. Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest leaders of all damn time. One of the greatest leaders of all damn time is in the team now. It's like, what are we really doing with Harry Maguire? And £300,000 a week is too much money for the lad. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know how he's even in conversation for getting a new contract at Manchester United right now. In my opinion, he needs to prove himself and do a little bit more to get that sort of an improved offer. It would be insane to pay Harry Maguire £300k a week based on what he's done so far at the club. He's a big fridge of a slab of a man, and he makes errors every week. Now, he is a good player. He is a good player. Look at what he did for England in the Euros. He is a good player, but he's not a great player. And I'm sorry to say, you know, he's got years left on his contract as well. I mean, how many years does he have left? He's got 3 years left anyway. I don't get why they would renew now, says Nick Sparta. 100% Nick Sparta. It makes very little sense. You have other players at the club with contracts needing to be done and dusted, and yet we're talking about offering Slab a new contract. It's absolutely preposterous if that is the case. What we need to do is get Bruno Fernandes signed up to a nice bumper contract. If anybody's going to be getting paid 300k a week and having an improved deal, it should be Bruno, because he actually earns it. He's actually really consistent and actually performs to a great level, and just since he's come in and has been our best player, he actually deserves 300k a week, yet he's on 160 or whatever it is, or even less than that per week right now. He's getting absolutely robbed. So we need to get Bruno Fernandes signed up to a new contract. What about Paul Pogba? Paul Pogba could do with a new contract. Now, you might be split on Paul Pogba. In some ways, Paul Pogba signing a new contract at United is getting less likely by the day in some ways. With some of the links that are being made in the summer. If it is truly all about the money for Paul Pogba and his agent, then they won't be staying at Manchester United come the summer. But United need to get that signed and wrapped up. So, and you know, there's the Lingard contract situation that's running out quick. So I don't think that Manchester United are in any position to discuss contract negotiations with a slab for £300,000 a week, when I don't even know if in 2 years' time we even have him in the team. Maybe we will. But as I say, I think he's the weakest link in the team. You may disagree with me. Not the weakest link in the team, sorry. The weakest link in the back line. I think Luke Shaw is one of the best left-backs, you know, in the world. I think he's shown his level of consistency is brilliant over the last 12 months as well. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think defensively is sound as a pound. He's the second weakest link in the team for me, of course, but he's young. He's only 22, man, or 23, or he's still very, very young. He's got a lot of development to do, and he's still, in my opinion, defensively sound as a pound. So he's great. And then Raphael Varane, he's been a bit of a Rolls Royce since he's come in. I can only really think of one mistake he's made all season, really. He's been pretty damn solid and just looked like a great defender, clearing the balls away, getting up in the air there. Very strong, very quick, athletic, and just exactly what we needed, and classy. And with a proven winning track record. So he's the strongest link in the centre back in the defence. So Slabby Maguire, that just leaves the slab. And I'm sorry to say, he is the weak link in that centre back, in that back line. Hey, Griffo Chaz, how you doing there, boss? Great to see you guys in here today. Tad Bates says 160k a week. He's being robbed. I don't think he is. I see what you're saying. I mean, I wouldn't mind a cheeky 160k a week. You know, Manchester United have forced £160,000 a week into Bruno Fernandes's bank account at gunpoint. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind that, but no. In all honesty, though, you've got players at Man United who are on more money than Bruno Fernandes, and they just don't deserve to be on anywhere near the amount of money that Bruno should be on. Like, you want to talk about contracts, you want to talk about who deserves what. Bruno's being paid a pittance right now at United compared to some of the other great stars of the club. In my opinion, he's our best player. He's the best player in the team. Like, he's the player we would miss the most if he was injured for a while or if he was sold. He's the guy we would miss the most. He's the guy that's needed the most. He's the catalyst, the creator. He's the guy that just has the right attitude, the winning mentality to drag us forward and make things happen. The last 2 years have shown me that and proven that time and time and time again. So he should be on big money at United, regardless of what he was on, regardless of how many Instagram fucking followers he's got. He should be on big money at the club because it's justified. He is a world star. You know, we've helped create him, of course. You know, he's come from Sporting like Cristiano, and we've helped create him. We've given him this platform, but still, you know, he is a player that we should do our utmost to keep. He's coming into the best years of his career now, so he's 26, 27, isn't he? So think about that. You want to give him a 4 or a 5 year contract to wrap him up to these 32, and those are the best years of his career, 27 to 32. So you're gonna have to pay him like it's the best years of his career, and pay him like he's one of the best players in the league, because he is. So, yeah, Bruno needs to get 300k a week, not Slabby Maguire. Slabby Maguire needs to get £7.50 a week and a packet of fucking pork scratchings, mate, and be happy with it. Because, you know, he's the one, to me, that is creating errors every single week and isn't really up to the standard of being a world-class player. He's still a good player. You know, I'm not slagging him off. He's better than what we've had. You know, I think if you look at players like Phil No Bones Jones, and you know, he is a better option than Maguire, than Lindelof and Bailly right now. Of course he is, but he's not perfect. Is all I'm saying. He's not elite level. He's not Varane. What we could do with is another Varane level player, and then we would have a Rio Ferdinand and a Vidic type partnership again. I don't think we're ever going to have that Rio Vidic partnership because, yeah, you've got Rio and I don't know, you know, John O'Shea or something, and John O'Shea was very good, by the way. Very good, but it's not Rio and Ferdinand. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I mean, Rio and Vidic. Rio and Ferdinand would also be great. Hey, we got nearly 50 likes on the stream, 75 new legends in it. Great to see you all today. Thanks for joining us, guys. Get your thoughts in and out the live chat, and also smash the like. And let's be having you. Andrakos says, we should sell Maguire to Newcastle. They probably pay 80 million. Well, you got me onto a really interesting point. Hey, Rush Mano, how you doing, you absolute legend? Thank you very much for getting in here. So you've got me onto another point here, right? Just quickly, before we'll go back onto the Varane stuff in a minute, because I've got some more stuff I want to talk about. But seeing as you've talked about that, Newcastle United are going to have huge amounts of money to spend over the next few transfer windows. Now, Man United have a few players at the club that we have been struggling to get rid of, maybe, or some players that we could sell if a good enough offer came in. And Newcastle right now, I mean, they're not after Lionel Messi and Mbappe and all these guys, you know, and even Pogba. You might see these links, and Pogba is being linked to Newcastle. You might see these links, but I don't think there's any basis for them because it's going to take several seasons for Newcastle United to get to the point where they're competitive. I think they will get there if they chuck all the money at it, but they're expected to. I think they will get there. But these players are not going to want to wait around for a few seasons in a transitional period before they start challenging and winning things. So they've got to get themselves qualified in the Champions League first, and then they'll be able to sign top players, I think. But right now, they need to build. They need to add an extra quality of player to their side right now. But they can't be expected to just go and sign the world's most elite players because they're just shitty Newcastle United still. They're right at the foot of the table. They could be playing in the Piggin Championship next season, for Pete's sake. What they need to do is solidify their position and as a solid Premier League side, get some good players in there. And Manchester United have a good couple of players that we could offload to them, or that they could come and make an offer for us. And there's a few that are being mentioned. A lot of Man United players being linked with Newcastle United. Paul Pogba, as I say, is being linked because it's all about the money, it seems, for Mino Raiola and Paul. So if the money's good enough, I guess that's possible. I don't think that would happen, though, because I think Paul wants to play, you know, and challenge and win things and get trophies. He's not going to do that at Newcastle for a few years at least. But there's a couple other players. His France teammate, Tony Martial, is definitely a player that Newcastle United would be interested in. And for me, he's not quite surplus to requirements of United. He's a good squad player for us, but he's not a starter for me anymore. So that's not a player I would exactly be bothered about losing. And if we could get 60 million for him or somewhere in that region to sell him to Newcastle United, then, you know, it wouldn't be the end of the world. And he is a good player, but again, he's not a great player. So it's not like you're giving Newcastle United just this absolute weapon. I mean, he is good, but he's also inconsistent. On his days, very good. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, if the price was right, Tony Martial could be sold to the tune. And then also Jesse Lingard, you know, we're talking about going up steps, going up levels. You saw what Jesse's done for West Ham, for England, getting back in the England setup, etc. He is a good standard player. He'd be a great standard player for Newcastle United. And there's not that many teams that are interested in Jesse Lingard because he's paid an absolute fortune for the bloody player that he is. Let's be honest. He's a pretty bang average player. He is good, actually. He is a good player. He's proven that this season, actually. He's impressed me. He's been good again. But he's not a great player, and he's just too small of a fish in the huge pond that is Manchester United here, to be able to really get in the side regularly. Whereas at Newcastle United, he could be a star there, just like he was a star at West Ham. But not only that, he could get paid handsomely to do it as well. Like, if he wants a new contract, and he wants a bigger contract than what he's getting now, maybe Newcastle is actually the way to go, because they're insanely wealthy. They have they've got 13 times, no, 20 times or something, the wealth of Manchester City, this consortium. So the Saudi Public Investment Fund is what they call the PIF. They have like 13 times the amount of cash or worth or whatever you want to call it. I don't really know how it's measured, but than Sheikh Mansour et al. So it's pretty incredible the amount of spending power that they're going to have. So them paying Jesse Lingard £150,000 a week is really not that crazy at all. Because think about it, he's a homegrown player. That's a good point for them too. 28, in his prime, and will actually be good for them in this transitional period. This isn't the time for them to be buying Champions League winners and trying to win the Champions League. You've got to get in the Champions League first. They need to build for a few seasons, and I think Jesse Lingard would be an ideal signing by Newcastle United. Please, Newcastle United, come and sign it from us! Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Jesse's actually a good homegrown talent, man. He's from the United Academy as a kid. I respect that and I love that. And I like him, I like his mentality this season as well, fighting for his place in the side a little bit and winning us, an important couple of games as well. He's done well and also lost us one, didn't he, against Young Boys. But even so, like, he has shown great mentality this season and I like him. I like Jesse Lingard, I just don't think he's a quality enough player for United starting. But hey, if he stays at the club, I'm not bothered. If he stays and he's like just a bit part player at the club, that's fine. But I think this is a great opportunity for him, actually. If Newcastle came knocking, if I was Jesse Lingard, I'd be going. You've got a chance there to get paid a lot of money, be part of an interesting period of history for their club where they're trying to build and get to the top. And it's just a good step for him. It's good. It's a good step. So they're also looking at signing Eric Bailly and Donny van der Beek as well. So just to let you know, these are the players that are linked with Newcastle. If you're just getting in here, guys, there's Anthony Martial, Jesse Lingard, Donny van der Beek. Donny van der Beek's been a complete outcast at Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, completely wrongfully as well. I mean, I love Solskjaer, but I do think his management of Donny and the situation has been really bad. If you didn't want to play him, you should have just let him go. So, we've sort of kept him here against his wishes or, under false pretenses, really, when we should have just let him go. We got a transfer update. Thank you very much here, Rushmana. Let me get in here. Let's take a look, see what's going on here, boss. Okay, interesting. So we got some info here that Manchester United have been offered Ousmane Dembele, the agent, to sign the wing on a free transfer at the end of the season. United would be able to present a millionaire offer to the player to seal the deal. Quite interesting. Ousmane Dembele. He's been offered apparently to United, Liverpool, Juventus and PSG about a potential contract on a free transfer. This is offered by his agent. That's quite interesting. So Ousmane Dembele was linked to United about a year or so ago. I mean, he does have injury problems and stuff. I think he'd be a decent addition, but we just signed Sancho. Rashford's coming back to fitness. We have Ronaldo, Cavani, Martial still here. I mean, I could see maybe Dembele being signed, I suppose, if Martial was sold or something like that. But I don't really know about that one. I don't want him. What do you guys think? Would you take Ousmane Dembele at the club? Smash a 1 if you'd have him. Smash a 2 if you're not bothered and you don't really want him. But fair enough. He is a good player. So Newcastle United are linked with, we've got Jesse Lingard, Donny, and Eric Bailly are players that are linked with Newcastle, and Paul Pogba too. But I don't think Paul would go there unless it really truly all is about, is all about the money for him and his agent. Okay, so let's just take a look at this then. So those are the players that are linked to Newcastle. Who would you like? Who would you be happy to see go? Pretty much, lots of twos coming in the live chat here. Genlo, Newcastle to spend 200 million in January video. Man, I mean, that is unrealistic. I'll tell you for why. There is a little thing called financial fair play, which you do have to stick to a degree. Now, I think it's going to take them some time to cook the books, essentially, by putting a lot of stuff through the club from other interests and avenues to beef up the commercial revenue, etc., that they have in order to justify extra spending in the financial fair play, etc. So they will spend a lot of money, but I don't think they'll be spending 200 million in a single window at this stage. I don't think so. I could be wrong. I think what they will do is more likely spend like between, 100 million, and 150 million every single window. And at the start, they'll probably have quite a big mass exodus and sell a lot of players because they need to have a bit of a clear out, don't they? Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Rushmano. He says, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, if it's your first time here, guys, get involved. You only need to be subbed for 1 minute to chat in the live chat. So if it is your first time, smash that subscribe and get your thoughts and opinions in. JW92 says, maybe Newcastle will get Rice instead of United. I only just got here, so that might have already been mentioned, says JW92. It hasn't been mentioned, actually. Really good point, JW. Yeah, there you go. I mean, there you go. They're going to be spending money, right? Declan Rice, I think he's a good player. I think United could really benefit from him. I think he's probably a better option than what we got now. He definitely is a better option than what we got now because he's a really true sort of defensive midfielder, and he's only 22. And so to be doing what he's doing for club and country at his age is actually very, very impressive. You could be looking at the career of somebody like, I don't know, a Gareth Barry type career here where he's just a stalwart and just like has an sets appearance records for club and country in that position, I could see that happening for Declan Rice. So I think he's going to be a very good player in the future. So young still. But I still think there's better options out there for Manchester United. So if he was to go to Newcastle, I wouldn't exactly be that bothered. But, that's exactly the sort of player that they should be looking at. They want to be looking at players who are getting better, who are younger, who are improving, who have got time, to improve and get better over their plan, because their plan is not a short-term plan, it's a long-term plan. They need to get Newcastle United up to be competitive and Champions League team within 3 or 4 seasons and then try and win things. It takes a lot of time. So 5 or 6 years is probably how long it's going to be till they actually win anything, in my opinion. It's one thing getting them competitive up there to be a Champions League side, certainly 4 or 5, 3 or 4 years at the very least. So, you have to be young to be part of the project. Bellingham's another one being linked as well, so you never know. Hey, Haroli, how you doing there, boss? Sorry I missed your super chat today. What an amateur. Dude, thank you so much. I'm sorry, mate. I need to turn my speakers up. That's what it is. I've got them really low. Usually it tells me, I can hear it when I get a super chat, but of course I've got them really low. I can't. Haroli, mate, thank you so much for the 179 super chat, you legend. He says, hi, mate, hope you're well and congrats on 45.5k subs. Get in there, you absolute legend, Haroli. Thank you, mate. Yeah, 45.5k subs. Appreciate you, Haroli. On our way to 46, baby. Haroli, you're a legend, mate. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Guys, can we get some Saul emojis in there for Haroli? And thank you very much. Yeah, if you're new, hit the subscribe on our way to 46k. Get in there, my son. Thank you, Haroli. You're a top lad. Appreciate you, especially for a Spurs fan. You would love Rice at Old Trafford, says Diddy Hill. Yeah, well, I would like him to. He's a better option than what we've got now. McTominay and Fred are just fluff. Right, hang on a sec, guys. Let me get back into the Informazione here. So, as we've discussed, Varane out for a week or 2 at this stage is what the expected time is. He needs to have a scan and be assessed, and then we'll find out more information. We'll give you that. Maguire's out with an ankle injury, which means that United are going to have a bit of a ropey couple of weeks, having to play Bailly and Lindelof at the back there, which is a big problem. So there you go. We've got Leicester. These are the next games, just so you know. I just wanted to tell you, we've got Leicester City away. That's a tough game, especially with Bailly and Lindelof at the back there, up against Vardy and co. That's a filthy game, man. I'm not looking forward to that game now. I was looking forward to that game. I'm not really looking forward to that game now because we have defensive vulnerabilities at the back. Sure, we should still be able to do the business against them. We have Ronaldo, Etal, Bruno, etc. We should be able to do the business against them, but You know, we have a ropey backline which probably will concede, and Leicester are a good attacking side and a good counter-attacking side, etc. I'm concerned about that one. Atalanta at home as well in the Champions League. You know, we've had a bit of an indifferent Champions League start to the campaign so far. This is what I'm a bit worried about, actually, for the Champions League now, because Atalanta are a good team, yeah? And Man United, you know, unless we turn up, we can't put in another performance like we did against Young Boys or whatever in the Champions League. We will be found out, especially with that back line. So that's a tough game for me. And then we have Liverpool at home and Tottenham away. Fuck me. So Liverpool at home, Tottenham away, Atalanta away again, and then we host Manchester City, right, before the November internationals. So at the start of November, there's some more internationals and another international break. But between now and then, our run of games is absolutely unadulterated filth. Look at that. Leicester away, Atalanta at home, Liverpool at home, Tottenham away, Atalanta away, and Manchester City are the next games, mate. I mean, that is absolutely horrible when you've got Varane and Maguire out. Now, we don't know the extent of Varane's injury yet. Hopefully, it is just a week that he's out for. But we definitely need to get that guy in there as soon as possible, because that's a ropey backline to be going into this run of games with. This is a key part of the season for us now. It's a bit of a nightmare. If we were going to go into these games and drop points against the likes of Leicester, Liverpool, Tottenham, then we needed to win every single other game in the Premier League so far. You can't be dropping points against the likes of, you know, Southampton and losing to Aston Villa and these sorts of performances that we've had this season. You have to win all those to go into these big games and have the luxury of dropping any points against them if you want to stay competitive and challenge. So guess what? Now United have a real tough task where we've got this run of games against really good teams. And unless we win some of those and you know, get some points on the board and not go on a bad run there, then the season is going to look really, really bad in about 5 games' time, honestly. Because if we lose to, let's just say we draw against Leicester, we draw against Liverpool, we draw against Tottenham, you know, those would be ordinarily not the end of the world, those results, would they? Because, you know, they're tough games. You know, if you've won all your other games against teams you should be beating, then that's okay. But we haven't. So a few draws in those games, and we've lost a shitload of points, guys. So we need to be careful. We need to win most of those games. We need to basically win 2 out of, you know, the league games there. We've got to win 2 out of those 3 against Leicester, Liverpool and Tottenham, in my opinion. And that's not the easiest task to do. If we want to stay competitive for the title challenge this season, you've got to win 2 out of 3 of those games. Draws ain't good enough. Losses, you know, don't even get me going. You know, you've got to win 2 out of 3 of those games, really. So I feel for Solskjaer over the next couple of weeks with this dodgy backline. It's going to be a tough ask. And then we got Man City coming up as well. So yeah, let's get into the live chat quickly, see what you guys think about that. Get your thoughts and opinions in. Ollie out. What's going on? Anyway, Rashford back, pig, isn't he? Yes, so he had his game behind closed doors a little while ago. He is going to be back into it very, very soon. He's recuperating still, you know. I don't know if he's going to be thrown in at the deep end, but you're right. That is one plus point, as we do have Rashford coming back into the team. So that's like a new signing for us at this stage. But if Solskjaer had just done what he should have done at the start of the season and played Martial on the left to begin with, then we might not even be really too bothered about Rashford coming back in, because I feel like Martial could still do that job for us. He's not this consistent, though, and I think Rashford is the better player. Just on Rashford, actually, I'm glad you mentioned Rashford, because Marcus Rashford has revealed that he's played through pain for the entirety of last season as the United and England forward prepares for his comeback following shoulder surgery. 23 years old he is. He's still only 23 years old, Rashford is, guys. So people slag him off and say, oh, he's really not that good and all that. He's not even really got going yet. He's been playing the last year with an injury. He's not been 100%, and he's still been developing and getting better as a player, but also as a person, you know. I mean, he is an amazing person on and off the pitch, to be fair. And it's all about progression. He's only 23. He will be getting better in every regard on the pitch over the next few years. 100%. The experience is there. He's got the best players to learn from in the world around him. The squad is amazing now. Like, he is going to be a big part of this Manchester United team for the next decade. But anyway, so he underwent surgery, of course, for his shoulder injury. He played 65 matches for club and country last season at 22 years of age. 65 matches for club and country. He put off surgery to avoid a lengthy layoff, obviously being in the international tournament summer as well. And, you know, also for Manchester United making some sacrifices there. So he could have had surgery. but because he was going to have a long layoff in the middle of the season, etc., they avoided it, and he played through the pain for most of the campaign. He was sidelined since undergoing the procedure in August, of course. He returned to full contact training with United and scored twice at a behind the closed doors friendly against Blackburn last week. This is what he said to the BBC. He said, "My recovery is, I wouldn't say coming to an end, because obviously I've been looking after it, but I'm in a much better place physically and mentally." He said, "Last year was a very long season for me. I got this injury, and at the end of September, and gradually it got that little bit worse, but now I'm fully free of that. I feel much better physically and mentally." But basically, yeah, so he was playing for 11 months with an injury. He said, in regards to the Leicester game, he said, I feel ready to be back on the pitch. So, yes, I'm just looking forward to the next lot of games. It's a busy schedule. So, yeah, Marcus Rashford coming back into the team. Get in there, my son. Let's get a love heart in there for Marcus, man. A great human being on and off the pitch. And a great player for Man United. And a big, big loss for us to not have him in the side at the start of this season. Like, we definitely have missed him, I think. But excellent to have him coming back. Marcus is a big, big player for us, and just can't wait to see what he can do when he's going to be 100%. Like, we have been seeing Marcus Rashford performing with a bit of an injury for the last year. Like, he's been harbouring an injury. When he's fully fit and raring to go, it'll probably be an absolute animal out there on the pitch for us. So I can't wait to see that. Cannot wait to see Marcus Rashford back, lads and lasses. Omar Henry says, which player can we use to replace Varane, says Omar Henry. Well, it seems like there's two main candidates, isn't there? There's Lindelof and there's Bailly. So Maguire's out injured with an ankle injury as well. I'm not too sure on the extent of the time that he's going to be out. But it looks like we're going to have to play Lindelof and Bailly for the next run of games. So we don't know, though, because Varane may have a lesser serious injury than what we thought. It's understood. I've got the info here, right? So Matty Rushmano sent me some information here earlier on, which was it's likely to be an adductor tear injury on his thigh. And the time would typically be 1 to 2 weeks that he would be out for. So if it is that, that's not the end of the world, but it's just come at a really bad time for us when we have a run of really important fixtures where we could absolutely do with Raphael Varane. Also, if it's found to be a grade 2 injury, though, the return time could be around 2.5 to 3 weeks. So there is different grades of these tears when it comes to the adductor muscle here, right? And so basically, you're talking about 1 to 2 weeks if it's a grade 1 injury, 2 to 3 weeks if it's a grade 2 injury. So we have to assess it. Manchester United will assess it. It's understood tomorrow he'll be back at the club on Tuesday. And then they will assess the situation, give him a scan, find out what's up, and then I guess they'll let us know. But hopefully it's not a long time that he's out for, guys, because that would be shite. Hey, there's over 100 of you legends in here right now. Nearly 100 likes on the stream. Let's see if we can smash 100 likes. Smash the thumbs up button if you're just joining and getting involved, lads and lasses. Appreciate you. Give it that Kung Fu Cantonade treatment. It's free to do. It helps the algorithm. And it also helps us compete with some of the corporations such as, the BT Sports, the Sky Sports, etc. So help us out by smashing that thumbs up and give it a share around on social media. You know it makes sense. Okay, then. Let's get into it. So, right, let's get into it. Paul Pogba, right, guys. Paul Pogba. Actually, I'm not even going to talk about Paul Pogba. Do you know what? Fuck Paul Pogba, mate. Do you see what he said the other day about Manchester United, about joining Brady, going to Torino, and oh yeah, it's nice over there, got friends over there and all that? Shut up, Paul Pogba. Keep your head down and play football for United. If you do want to leave, if you do want to go to a different club, keep your trap shut until you do. You know what I'm saying? I can't, that's it. He doesn't help himself. That's it. Paul Pogba's dead to me, guys. That's it. I think, I'm just kidding, right? But what is it with Paul Pogba? Why does he have to stir the pot all the time, mate? Can't he just keep his trap shut? Honestly, all he has to do is be a professional, keep his head down, and see how he's contracted to Manchester United. Act like you're a fucking Manchester United player then, Paul. Don't just go out there running your mouth off. Oh, yes, it would be nice. Let's see what happens in the summer. My contract ends in June. Oh, yes, I love Torino. Oh, I love playing in Italy. Oh, yeah, bollocks. Pisses me off, really does. I hate these modern-day prima donna footballers, man. Sticking their oar in, trying to create dramas, trying to create unrest. How about getting behind the team? How's about here's an opportunity to be galvanised? Here's an opportunity to win something with United team. Why are we having unrest? Why are we talking publicly and creating maybe a little bit of uncertainty at the club? It's unnecessary. That's all I'm saying. It's unnecessary. Pogba out. Until he smashes a worldie at the weekend, says the big guy. Arctic United says Jose was right. Pogba's ego. Well, listen to this. There's an article on 442 here. The reason I mentioned that, and I was going to talk about it, and I don't really want to talk about it. The reason I want to talk about it is an article on 442, and it's an interesting article. It was written by Mark White, credit to him, 3 hours ago, and it says, Paul Pogba, why Manchester United should let the Frenchman leave in the summer. And I just saw this article and I thought, you know what? This guy, this fucking makes a lot of sense, right? He's been here for, the biggest thing from my point of view, he's been here for 6 years. He hasn't really done all that much. He is a world-class player on his day, which is 1 in every 3 games, maybe. He has a great aura about him. He's a very well-loved, popular individual in the dressing room as well. Like, he's a big character in the dressing room. He's had clashes with previous managers, Jose Mourinho, etc. He's fell out spectacularly with him. As soon as Jose left, he played the best football of his Manchester United career for 10 games until he was bored again. And then he just became bang average again. And then Solskjaer, seems to have got a lot more out of him recently. He started the season majestically well, but he's going to ride off those 4 assists on the opening game of the season for a little while now. We've seen the best and the worst from Pogba this season. The first few games he was unplayable, but the last few games for him, they've been shite. He's been a passenger again in the last few games. So, he might have 7 assists this season and be leading the charts. But I think, it doesn't necessarily tell a whole story. He got 4 on the first opening game against Leeds, which is amazing. It's a Premier League record. He's obviously a class player. But that's him. That's on his day. How's about doing it week to week? Where's the Michael Carrick 7 out of 10 every single week player? He's not that sort of guy for us. But anyway, these are the different points why this lad, Mark White, thinks that United should maybe get rid of him. He said Pogba no longer the best in midfield. So, of course, when we got him, it was supposed to be a marquee signing to try and, beef up our midfield option. 80 million quid we paid for this guy, 89 or whatever it was to get this guy in. He was supposed to be this new catalyst, this new beast in midfield, the man to make it happen, to run the engine of Man United. Didn't happen, did it? Bruno Fernandes is the player that makes that happen. So, we've got Bruno in there. We don't even need Pogba. Pogba was meant to be that Bruno player, but he didn't turn out to be that guy. Bruno is that Bruno player. Hey, we got a super chat here from Don Son Goku. Thank you so much, Son Goku, mate. Great to see you, Son Goku. Ian, what's going on, lad? He says, Pig, my ankle sprain was a grade 3, but I am now walking to the shops, fetching myself a curry pot noodle and a cheeky cig. Get in there, you legend. I've got a pot noodle right here, mate. This one's a sweet and sour one, though. Hey, nice one, son. Thank you so much for getting there for the 449 super chat. Can we get some love hearts in there for son? I hope your ankle sprain is getting, well, it sounds like it's getting a lot better. You're now walking to the shops. That's excellent news, mate. Grade 3, dude. That sounds horrible. How long was the recovery on that one? Hey, Son Goku, thank you so much for getting in here, bud, with that. And get the love hearts in there for him. I hope he feels better soon. Nice one, Flying Pig United Fan 67. Good man. Randon Lewis says, I thought Pogba was meant to be a workhorse box-to-box, but I was mistaken. Well, he is a box-to-box midfielder, but he doesn't like defending, does he? This is another point. So the second point in this article, he hampers United defensively. So, you can say what you want about Pogba. He's a great creative player. I think he's better when you take any defensive duties away from him, like when you put him out there on the left. He's got less defensive duties out there, and he can just focus on creating and attacking and just sort of wandering around on that side of the pitch. Whereas when you give him an opportunity in the central defensive midfield role or in a midfield double pivot or whatever, he doesn't like doing the defensive duties. And even if he did like doing them, he's not great at them. Like, you do see him losing a lot of midfield battles. Some games he's decent and capable in those positions. He is a big, strong, athletic dude at the end of the day, and he gets himself about. But he's not defensively world-class anywhere near it. He doesn't like doing the defensive dirty work. So that's another big reason. He hampers United defensively. Sometimes it's a case of round pegs and square holes. Sometimes you might not have a player who's technically as gifted as Paul Pogba, but in a lot of ways it makes a lot of sense to play him instead of Paul Pogba because it'd be better for the team. Like if you had a better balanced midfield, i.e. a true out-and-out defensive midfielder and then a true creative midfielder next to him, maybe that's exactly what we need. But unfortunately what we're trying to do under Solskjaer at the moment, and maybe it's because of the personnel in there, is shoehorn players in who can do a bit of everything. You got Fred, you got McTominay, they're both sort of decent defensively, good defensively. They're not great though. I wouldn't say, they're top tier. And then you've got, other creation issues with them. They can't pass the ball, in terms of creativity, they're just lacking. So, it's round peg square holes again. Whereas what we need is a true out and out CDM and a true out and out creative player. Or at least at the very least, maybe like a Kessie type who is a true box-to-box player, but you need a defensive midfielder alongside him. Pogba is not a defensive midfielder, and we have played him a bunch as that. Maybe not the most defensive-minded of the midfield too. Like, he is the one that's supposed to be more box-to-box and be more creative, but he's still got defensive duties there, and he's not good for us at doing it. Number 3, he is keeping Manchester United players out of the team as well. You know, that's the thing. Because Pogba's here, there are obviously players that that's the weakest point of this article, to be honest, because he's keeping them out because he's better than them. But that is a point. Like, maybe if we didn't have Pogba, if Pogba left on a free, that would force us to go and sign somebody or give an opportunity to, you know, a youngster or, you know, this Ghana or whoever. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, Pogba being there and putting in inconsistent performances stops us from finding a consistent performer in a way. Also, number 4, he's become too divisive. You know, he's got a lot of critics. He's got a lot of division amongst the fan base because him and his agent come out in the media and talk absolute shite all the time, flapping their gums, giving it the big bollocks all the time. And a lot of people don't like it. I don't like it. You know, I've got no problem with Pogba as a personality, as a character in the dressing room. He seems like a good lad. But in the newspapers, you know, he needs to keep his trap shut, guys. And his agent, the grubby pie fingerer, mate, he's about as bad as it gets in terms of parasites of the game of football. He's a fucking scumbag. That's right. I said it. You know, the amount of money that he's taken out of this game and how he talks about Manchester United and how he disrespects this club and this fan base. His agent is a disgrace and a charlatan of a man. And of course, he might be a fucking super rich football agent. He's obviously done well for himself, but he's lacking in the morals area is what I'm saying. He doesn't have any interest in this club at all. He's just interested in his own coffers. So I don't have any respect for his management team whatsoever. And for that reason, you know, he also gets tarnished because of it. And number 5, money needs spending elsewhere. You know, we have Paul Pogba, huge amounts of money, £300,000 a week, wanting £400,000 a week on a contract. That money could be spent on another player who's actually consistent and performs better for Manchester United than Paul Pogba. That's just my opinion. Paul Pogba was a great world-class player on his day, doesn't come often enough. I won't hear anybody say, oh, but Paul Pogba's better than this guy or this guy. He is better than everybody. Paul Pogba's better than every midfielder in the world, man. On his day, whenever that is. Every occasionally when it happens. He's got all the abilities. Doesn't bring him out to play, though, very regularly. Even this season alone, it's classic Paul Pogba. Hit and miss. First few games, unplayable. Last few games, gashtastic. That's Paul Pogba in a nutshell. That's not Paul Pogba in a nutshell. This is Paul Pogba in a nutshell. Oh, what is this? I'm in a nutshell. Get me out of here. What is this nutty interior? That's Paul Pogba in a nutshell. But technically, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, £300,000 a week is what he's currently on. He wants over £400,000 a week, but he doesn't add enough to Manchester United sign. Genlon says Pogba is a lazy player, jogging around all the game. I mean, maybe there's something to that. He definitely doesn't look like he's busting a gut out there like some of them. You look at Fred, you look at McTominay, you look at the energy that they put out there in midfield. You know, you don't get that all the time from Pogba. You do get it sometimes, though. I've seen him absolutely busting it, working it, moving it for Manchester United. But you're right. Sometimes he's a passenger. Sometimes he doesn't commit fully to you know, putting 100% in. That's what it looks like anyway. He's a bit of a nonchalant player. Right, anyway, so I'm not going to talk anymore about Paul Pogba, but we'll see what happens. I think, look, United, in a way, I mean, what do you guys think? Paul Pogba, sign him up, keep or sell? Keep or sell? Have a vote in the live chat, guys. Keep or sell? And when I say sell, that doesn't necessarily mean sell. It just means let him leave on a free because his contract runs out in the summer. That's the problem. So, yeah, what do you think? Keep or leave? What would you do? Sale, says Sat Singh. Seth Backrow says Pogba has played in the wrong position at United. He's not a winger and not a CDM. Otherwise, he's the most creative player on the pitch. Fair point, though. But you know what, Seth? He has been played in that CAM role or the number 8, number 10 a bunch of times in the past as well. I think, you know, number 10, where Bruno plays, is probably his most creative position, and it takes away the defensive duties needed, and he can just focus and create. But we've seen him play there a lot of times over the last 5 years. He's been nowhere as consistent and nowhere as good as Bruno. So you can't play him there because Bruno Fernandes is better there. Bruno Fernandes is a bigger catalyst, makes more things happen, is more dangerous, is more creative, is just a better consistent performer and a leader than Paul Pogba. So you can't play Pogba there. So yeah, I agree with you. We have been trying to get him into a position that is not his best, but that's because the best position for Pogba is occupied by Bruno, who's better all round for us as a team than Pogba. Berber says, may as well keep him now. If he had a long contract, I'd sell him. Right, so you think we should sign him up to a new deal. The only problem with that is, because there's other teams out there now who have in interest in Pogba. There's Juventus, there's PSG in the summer. Hell, even Newcastle United might be able to offer over £500,000 a week or something ridiculous to turn his head. Because of that, we're going to have to pay him. He's going to have to get paid 400,000, 420,000 a week. Who knows? It's not really good value for United for an inconsistent performer. But I guess it's better value than letting a player that you paid £89 million for leave for nothing. So I see your point. Okay, so yeah, also Aurelien Tchouameni is being linked to Manchester United. This is on the MEN today. 21-year-old holding midfielder put in a sensational display in the Nations League final, and fans want United to make a move. He has been linked to Manchester United for a while, actually. Tchouameni and Pogba, of course, he's in good form, but he's inconsistent, and he's also, his career and his future is kind of up in the air at Manchester United right now. You know, signing a player like Tchouameni for United in January, for instance, probably a really good move. Probably a fantastic move that we could do. You know, only 21, getting better. I think that's the sort of player that we should be looking for. A holding midfielder who's getting better and could help the team at the moment. So yeah, Aurelien Tchouameni, what do you guys think about him? But if Pogba was to go, I could definitely see us signing a couple of players in that position. You know, we could sign Tchouameni. You could also go out there and sign, I don't know, Bellingham, and then you've got these great young players in the midfield that can, that can do a job for decades, for a decade. Omar Henry says, Piggy, is it true about Chiesa coming to United? So Chiesa was linked to Manchester United. Understandably, Cristiano Ronaldo is a fan and wants him, to come to United, basically, is what the reports have said. I mean, there's a lot of speculation about that. I don't really know how anybody would know that from Cristiano Ronaldo, that Cristiano Ronaldo said that. But that's the story that I read, that Ronaldo is keen on United to bring in Chiesa. So, hey, look, wouldn't be the end of the world, but it seems a bit strange to me. That's not the position of the team I care about us spending money on. We've got Armand Diallo, a youngster for the future. He's out injured at the moment, but give him a couple of years, he's going to be a great winger for us. You've got, of course, Jadon Sancho. We just bought Sancho for 73 million. Rashford, Martial still here at the moment. If he's sold, I could see us doing a bit of business, I suppose, in those areas. But right now, I don't think we really need to focus on that position in the team. I'm going to be honest. I think we just need to bolster our midfield, make that midfield world-class, i.e. get 2 world-class signings in the midfield, sort it right out, and then we'll be a wicked team. That's what we need to do. Okay, so let's just talk about this for a second. I'm going to get into the live chat about this, guys, because this is the talking point of the day, really. So this is reported various different outfits today, reporting that Harry Maguire to receive a staggering pay rise in a new Man United deal. He would become the club's 3rd highest paid player. Could become Manchester United's 3rd highest paid player, and if he agrees to sign a new contract with the club, according to reports. So we mentioned it earlier on when we were talking about the Varane injury and stuff. Maguire's injured, but he is the most expensive defender in the history of this game, by the way. I believe nobody else has spent more money on a central defensive player than Manchester United did on Harry Maguire. £80 million for a centre-back. That's the guy we're talking about here. So on the face of it, on paper, should he be paid like a Rolls-Royce of a player? Well, he costs Rolls-Royce money. So yes, but he shouldn't be paid a lot more than what he's on now. So it's understood he's on £190,000 a week right now at United, right? Contract expires in 2025 or 2024 maybe, with an option for another year possibly. But still, a few years left on his contract. He's being paid £190,000 a week. Yeah, he is the captain. Yeah, he is a big player for club and country. But fuck that. There's no way he should be paid anywhere near £300,000 a week. I mean, I wouldn't even offer him a new contract for a couple of seasons yet. Even if he comes knocking on my door every week, boss, there's players on more money than me. I'm the leader, I'm the captain. Why am I only on 200k a week? I'd say, only 200k a week, Harry? Fucking hell. You're getting paid a shit ton of money to be bang average, lad, to be fair. And no disrespect, but this season he has actually been bang average. Guys, okay, let's just see where the live chat is. Maybe I'm being overly critical and overly harsh. Right? This season, I've seen him make an error, at least one error, one calamitous error, by the way, which often did not lead to a goal, lucky for him. But I've seen him make a couple of calamitous errors in most games, right? I just want to ask you this as a fan base. Give me your honest reaction. I might be harsh, but give me your honest rating for Harry Maguire's season this season so far. It's only, a handful of games. He's out injured now as well. But give me your rating of Harry Maguire overall for this season so far. He's a 5 out of 10 at best. Okay? 5 out of 10 at best. in all honesty, for the games that he's played. He's made errors in a lot of those games. I just don't see how he can justify getting paid more money at this club. I don't justify him having the captain's armband, to be honest. Shazanama says 5. Fire Up says 3 out of 10. Sat Singh says, who is better, Harry Maguire or Lewis Dunk? Well, that's what I mean. It's a toss-up. Vincent Buller says 4 out of 10. Scoojo says 6 out of 10. Ollie Out says 4 out of 10. I mean, I'm proving points all day long here. He's been average, and yet we're talking about him being offered a new improved contract when he's got years left on his contract. This makes little to no sense, in my opinion. How's about we assess the situation in 2 seasons' time after he's proven or shown that he's actually good enough to be United's captain and justify getting paid more than $190 a week? $190 a week's a shitload of cash. What are we going to do here? We're going to have a Phil Jones Mark II slab edition here if we're not careful. We're going to inflate somebody's price ridiculously, inflate their wages ridiculously, more than what they justifiably should be paid, and then they're just a depreciating asset which is impossible to sell. Nobody else in their right mind would consider paying that amount of money to a player, so you've just got this player stuck until the end of his career. He's already got a long-term deal on massive money. He doesn't need any more. I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does, of course, value the Maguire and Varane partnership, and if he wants to cement that over the next few years, maybe he would, they would consider doing that. See, G-Wolf United Gaming, I know you're joking now. See, I know you're not being honest, G-Wolf United. I know you love Harry Maguire, but you say Pig, 8.59 so far for me. I mean, obviously you are joking though, right, G-Wolf, with that rating, yeah? You are obviously kidding when you say that. That is just a joke. But I know you love him, but that is obviously a joke. Gungshi says Pogba's a 9 out of 10 so far. Gungshi, really? Nah, I disagree. Pogba for me so far, 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 because he's been amazing in 3 or 4 games. But guess what? 3 or 4 games, he's been gash. So you can't give him a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 is like a consistent quality performer. Whereas he's only performed in a few games and then gone off the boil for a few games. So I can't see a 9 out of 10 going to the only mate. That's generous. 2 out of 10 for Maguire, says Aini Assad. Not a great season, is it? Primos says, I think Ollie would replace Slabby in a heartbeat, given the opportunity. Yeah, if there was another player that became available of the ilk of Rafael Varane. I don't know. Let's just say that David Alaba, instead of going to Madrid, just became available now. That sort of player. And he was available at the right price, the right timing, etc. I think we would make the move. I think we would do it because Slabby is a vulnerable point of the team. Eddie O2 says, Piggo, hope it's been a good show. I'm listening and lurking now. I've had some mad chores today. Eddie O2, it's been a good show. Thank you for getting in. Great to see you, man. Eddie's going to be on the channel tomorrow as well, giving some of his thoughts on United at the moment and stuff. Shout out to you. Have a great day, Eddie O2. Hope you're okay, bud. United Brindham says, when I think of what we have in the squad, I'd love to see a 3-5-2. Not wing-backs. Rashford and Sancho as wingers. Pogba, McTominay, Fernandes, Ronaldo, Greenwood up top. I mean, that's interesting. It sounds very attacking, even though it's like a defensive-minded setup in a way. It's not. It's basically, it's a 3-5-2 with wingers. The only thing is defensively you might be a little bit vulnerable, of course, but if you're going to go all-out attack and get at teams, you've got Ronaldo and Cavani up top as well. Option. You said Ronaldo and Greenwood, but how's about Ronaldo and Cavani up top as well? A 2-up-front system would be amazing for this United team with Ronaldo and Cavani in there, I think. Ellie, how you doing today? Says, yo, what's good with you, Ellie? Rupert Meadows says, how long is Varane and Maguire injured out for? So the Varane situation as it is right now, he's having a scan tomorrow when he gets back to Carrington. It's expected it's going to be a couple of weeks, 1 to 2 weeks if it's a grade 1 adductor tear injury. If it's a grade 2, it could be 3 weeks or so. We don't know, basically. We don't know the full extent. We just got to play a waiting game at this moment in time. Genlong, Maguire struggles hard enough already with Fred in front. Fair point, Genlong. Yeah, the thing is with Maguire is he's slow as all fuck, isn't he? He's so slow. And that does leave us exposed at times. And when we get exposed by melters like Fred, who passing the ball and giving it away a lot of the time, that is exposed even more so. So yeah, I think Maguire would do a lot better if he had a much better CDM in front of him. You're right about that. You are so right about that. Like, maybe that's a key problem area. If that is the biggest problem area for us, definitely, the CDM. If we had a true world-class CDM who could protect that back line a bit better and a bit more convincingly, you wouldn't see so many errors from Maguire, I'm sure. But still, this season, he's made a lot of fundamental errors. Gungshi says, Pig, that was a joke. It was a joke ratings to see if you noticed. I'd give him a 7.69, dude, not a 9. Now, fair enough. Yeah, that's more appropriate. And to be fair, I think he does deserve a high rating this season so far, Paul Pogba, because he's got 7 assists and he started the season amazingly. But it's, again, the consistency letting him down for me, which is why you can't give him too high of a rating for the season so far, Anyway, Ryan says, sell Jones and Maguire and buy Ben Godfrey as a replacement. He is the future, says Ryan. Respect, dude. Respect. I mean, there's a couple of interesting youngsters. You know, Sander Berge is another player. There's some centre-backs out there we could be interested in, supposedly for the future. But, you know, Maguire is what we've got right now, and it's good, but it ain't great. Good, but it ain't great. Jonathan Gallagher says, hi, the Vutinator. How you doing there, Vutinator? You absolute ledge. Hope you're good today as well. McTominay is the future in midfielder, says Rance Bro. Yeah, but the thing is with McTominay is he's disappointing too. He's lackluster, mate. He's lackluster at best. I'm just keep waiting for McTominay. I keep waiting for him to start doing it. I keep waiting for him to turn into Darren Fletcher or something and be a consistent leader and performer for us and do really good performances week to week. You don't see it. You see the occasionally good one. You see the occasionally great one. But most of the time it's tepid. It's inconsistent. It's ineffective. I know he's only 24. Give him a bit of a chance. He's only 24. In the future, and maybe he will be that player. But right now, he ain't. Right now, he ain't that player. He ain't good enough to be marshalling Manchester United's midfield every single week. I'm sorry to say, but McFred, that combination is pitiful. It's a mid to low table midfield, in my opinion, right now. You know, you look at the other teams around, they've got much better midfielders than us, the likes of Chelsea, etc., City, you know, Liverpool, in terms of the midfield positions, having settled and their roles and their qualities. I think we're really lacking in those areas. We need to do a lot better. We need to get a lot better players in the midfield. This is United, for fuck's sake. We shouldn't be settling for those guys, you know what I mean? Hey, we've got an article. I'm going to pin it to the top of the live chat. Get in there. New article on the website, by the way, guys. Thank you very much, Aaron Homeyard, for putting that in the live chat there. Go give it a read. The website is unitedflyinghigh.com. If you weren't familiar with it, it's the associated website for this channel, and it's all your latest United news every single day. If you want to keep up to date with it, just pinned it to the top of the live chat. Click that link. Give it a read. unitedflyinghigh.com. Thank you very much. Cam Harvey Lee, how you doing there today, boss? McTominay is not United quality yet, thinks Artix. We need to loan him. Last 2 seasons, very lackluster from him, I'm going to say. Rance Bro says, agree, Pig, but you know United will play McTominay for many years since he's homegrown. True, Rance Bro, and I like that about United. We should stick with that. We are all about producing talent. We shouldn't just chuck that away. But, you know, is he really good enough? Is he really good enough? There's one lad in United's youth setup that I would be keen on seeing us give a chance to, and that lad is Jimmy Garner. And look, you don't know if he's good enough or not yet because we haven't seen him, but it seems like we've got a lot of players that we know aren't good enough, and we still stick with them. I would like to see us be a little bit more brave. You know, say what you want about Frank Lampard last season, you know, but he was quite brave with some of the youngsters that he's played and stuff, given opportunities, you know, to the likes of Billy Gilmore and Tammy Abraham and all these guys. He had a big part of their development, right? And you've got to respect that. And I think Manchester United have always got to do that. You've always got to bring players in and blood them and give youth players a chance. And also play homegrown players as well, you know. Keep homegrown players around. You shouldn't, in all honesty, be so quick to get rid of players like Jesse Lingard because he still can have a job in the squad to do, a role in the squad, and he's homegrown and come through the system. So players like that are rare and should be celebrated. But McTominay, just, you know, they're squad players. They're not starters. I don't feel good with Fred and McTominay going into battle against, I don't know, let's just say you're going in against Chelsea or Man City or Atletico Madrid or anybody, right? You have a really big game against a tough team. You got McTominay and Fred on the pitch. I don't feel good about it, guys. Now, they might perform. We've seen them perform before, but chances are it's not going to be good enough. Right, okay, I think that's pretty much the latest news, guys. Let me just go through it real quick. So, yeah, Rafael Varane likely to be out for a couple of weeks. Lindelof and Bailly probably will be the centre-back pairing that we're going to go for. So we'll have to see what goes on there. You know, we have got injury issues right now. Maguire is supposedly going to be offered a new £300,000 a week contract, which is just ridiculous. Newcastle United linked with every player under the sun, including Manchester United players. 5 United players are apparently on Newcastle United shopping list potentially. Paul Pogba being one of them, which I don't think is realistic at all because I think he will want to still challenge for things whilst being paid a shitload of cash. And then you've got players like Jesse Lingard. There's also Anthony Martial is linked with them. Donny van der Beek is linked with Newcastle United as well, which I could see happening in January, to be fair. You know, it doesn't look like we're playing Donny, and he wants out. It's understood he wants out. So I could sort of see that one happening in January, to be fair. Donny van der Beek to Newcastle United. Also, who's the other player that's been linked with us, or linked with Newcastle? Jesse Lingard, did I mention him? A couple of players anyway, bunch of players. Everybody's being linked to Newcastle United at the moment because they've got all this cash that they're going to be spending. Oh yeah, Anthony Elanga, when asked about his future at United, he's only 19, but he admits he's unsure over his future at Old Trafford and is ready for all scenarios. So he was just asked about his future, and he said everything is possible, but right now I am at United, so I focus on them. Anything is possible. I have to be ready if the club wants to loan me or wants me to stay. So I think it's really more about, his future. He says, he said, I do not know if I can answer that question because it will actually be difficult. I love Elfsborg and I love Malmo, so that's a very difficult question. I still follow Malmo and Elfsborg, but mostly Malmo. But he's just been asked, what's in for his future, and he doesn't know, is basically all he said there. So don't read anything into that. If he's given opportunities, he'll take them. I think he's another youngster. Speaking of youngsters and blooding youngsters and bringing great players from the youth academy, he's one of those players. Like if, for instance, if Man United sold Tony Martial to Newcastle or a different team, I'd say promote Elanga. Give Elanga an opportunity there. Cavani's going to be leaving soon as well. I'd say it's soon enough we should be promoting Elanga, mate, in all honesty. Right. Okay, so, yes, lots and lots of stuff going on there. Varane and Maguire injury latest. That's it, basically. So Maguire out as well. We're going to be seeing Bailey and Lindelof. Let me get into the live chat then. We're going to have a bit of a Q&A. Do us a massive favour if you're in here and smash that thumbs up button. We're nearly at 100 likes on it. Smash the thumbs up, Aruski, and let's blitz past that 100. Let's be having you! And get your thoughts in the live chat, everyone, about anything we've discussed. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on anything. Maguire's contract, the Maguire-Varane situation, who we should be playing at centre-back, etc. Get your thoughts and opinions in. Right, let's be having you. So then, Batman Knight fan, how you going there, sir? Genlon says, I feel like Newcastle are going to win the title before we do. Oh, don't say that. Nah, that's not going to happen. The thing is, it's going to take a long time for Newcastle to do that. It's not just as straightforward as spend hundreds of millions of pounds. They have to do it in a steady fashion. They can't just spend 500 million in one window. That won't be allowed to happen because of financial fair play. They have to do it a certain way. So they're going to have to do it gradually. Now, they probably will spend 100 million a window over the next few seasons, and that's going to be enough to get them to being super competitive in 3 seasons' time. But it will take a little bit of time to do that. Perplus says backline breached. Yeah, injury issues all round. Yep, Elanga is ready. Goes agreed, says Liam Slaney. What do you mean, Elanga, if he... Not too sure what that means, Liam Slaney. Do you mean he's ready to maybe take a step up into the first team? Or do you think he's going out on loan? We need new owners as soon as possible, says AKO. Don't even get me started on those Glazer shithouses. FIFA Piggy, please, I bet, says Sub to Flying Pig. Well, it will be coming at some point. Can't wait for Ollie to prove haters wrong. The word that would have sacked Sir Alex Ferguson. Yeah, good point, sir. Good point there, Jonathan. There's a lot of people out there who would have sacked Sir Alex Ferguson off after the first few seasons at United. Definitely they would have done. They say they wouldn't, but they would have done. All these Ollie outers and doubters, they'd have been Fergie outers and doubters at the time, 100%. It's just the same type of people. You're right. Pig, do you think Rashford will have Doctor added on back of his shirt? Dr. Rashford. Dr. Rashford, PhD lad. Got to be on there, doesn't it? No, Ollie's not been sacked. Omar Henry, not anytime soon anyway. Listen, it's going to take a lot for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to get sacked. In my opinion, he's going to have to get a really bad performance in the Champions League. So if we don't get out the group stage, then he might get sacked sooner rather than later, to be fair. If he doesn't get out the group stage, and in my opinion... especially after I've got a bet with Zayn Miassi on about us getting out of the group stage. In my opinion, if he doesn't get out, then, maybe he isn't the right man for the job. Because I'm sorry to say this, but with that squad of players in the group that we're in, with the teams that we're in, and yes, some of them are good teams, but we are the best team. With that group, you have to get out of it. With that squad and that group, you have to get out of it. So if he doesn't even get out of the Champions League group, that could be a real big blow, and maybe that will be him sacked. I honestly think that could happen. But most likely story is he will not be going anywhere until at least the end of the season. I think the Glazers were given the respect, given the time there. At least, even if he doesn't win anything, even if he underperforms, I think they'll sack him end of the season. If they're going to sack him at all. And I still don't think that's going to happen. I still think, and I still have faith in Ollie, and a lot of you guys don't agree with me, but I still think that he will get this team performing to a good standard soon. Confirmation of today's FIFA, was it? Get in, says Sub to Flying Pig. I don't know, I've actually got my missus round today. Don't get to see her too much, so I was thinking about hanging out with her this evening, but I might jump on and do a bit of a FIFA stream later. We shall. I don't know yet. I don't know, but I'm not actually promising one tonight because I'm hanging out with the missus. Lou Manu says even Arteta would have done wonders with that squad, says Lou Manu. Yeah. Don't know about that. What are you talking about? Arteta's an absolute melt. You know what, Lou Manu? You're always getting in here talking absolute delusional shite. You know, timing you out, mate. It wasn't abusive, it wasn't offensive, but you know what? It was just plain fucking gash. So you're getting timed out, mate. What a useless comment that was. You're talking shite, mate, as you always are, Lou Manu. Who the fuck are you? Who are you? We know who you are, Lou Manu, you melt. Anyway. Sprady Smith says, good few games on Rocket League last night, Piggy with G-Wolf A Pig. Was that yesterday? I don't even know. Genlo says, Sharteta, mate. Right, guys, okay, we're going to wrap this video up then, but thank you everyone who's got in here. I appreciate you. We got 85 likes on the stream. Smash the like. Let's see if we can get 100. If you enjoy these shows, you want to see more of them, show your support by leaving a thumbs up. Big God Bob says, sack the twat. Fire Up says, wrecked. Gung shit had to happen. Ollie's too stubborn, says Benson finished there. Unfortunately, he is in a lot of ways. You know, you've got to say, he does select the same players over and over again, even though they haven't really been justifying this place in the side based on form. He just selects these guys regardless. So he is stubborn in a lot of ways. I can't pretend that that's not true. And some of his substitutions in in-game management is also some signs of stubbornness as well. Definitely with the McFred combination in midfield, he's way too stubborn, man. He needs to change. He needs to learn from his mistakes because he's made a lot of mistakes recently. He needs to learn from them. Alias Sad TV, bro. He comments, if Man United need to win anything, they need to get rid of the Freaky Fred. Freaky Fred? Well, yeah, Fred's a weak link in the team. Definitely need a CDM. Catch you on the next stream. Thank you, Miz528. He's chatting with Mesh now, says Kungshi, absolutely. All right, anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to wrap it up there. Like, subscribe, comment. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Click that little bell icon to get notified when we post and go live on the channel as well. Do have your say and get involved in the not live comments after this video is finished. Come back and keep the debate going in the comments section. But thank you everyone for watching. I'll catch up with you soon. You can follow us on social media as well on at Flying Pig United on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. The website is unitedflyinghigh.com. It's pinned to the top of the live chat there. Click that article, give it a read. Yeah, nice one. That's going to be the end of the stream then, guys. Everyone, have a wonderful day. Brady, Jonathan, G-Wolf, Benson, Aliasad, Miz, Omar, Artix, FIFA 22 Moments, 007, Lynette Giggs, and everybody else. Appreciate you all stopping by and getting involved. Have a great day, guys. And I'll catch you on the next one with the latest United news. If there's anything breaking a bit later on tonight or anything, I'll get on, give you the latest news. You know, keep a lookout for that. As I say, I'm not too sure what's going on with the FIFA tonight. Maybe I'll do one, maybe not. So keep a lookout, though. Keep posted. But just want to let you know. Don't expect one, though. Goodbye there, United Brendan. Goodbye, G-Wolf, Gungshi, Chris Barker. I'll see you soon. This is The Pig. Thanks for watching. And take it easy. And come on, United! Soon!